Seriously, this country is turning heads. Hey friends, have you heard what's happening in Burkina Faso lately? I'm talking about real change like the kind that's shaking the ground, transforming villages and putting smiles back on people's faces. From building new factories to launching military drones, even talking about their own currency, Burkina Faso is rising like never before. So sit back and let me take you through an inspiring journey of transformation under the leadership of a man who's only in his 30s, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Please ensure you like this video as this helps us gain more visibility. Let's start with the heartbeat of any nation: food. Agriculture has taken center stage, and Burkina Faso isn't just planting crops anymore, they're building food empires. First off, rice production has seen a major revolution. With help from the African Development Bank and a €38.4 million investment, Burkina Faso is aiming to boost rice output by over 430,000 tons. More than 330,000 farmers across regions like Bama and Bagerpol have already received improved seeds and fertilizers. And to top it off, the government distributed 20 advanced optical rice sorters to clean and calibrate local rice, making Burkinabe rice ready for international markets. The government recently invested over 78 billion CFA francs in agriculture for more equipment like seed treatment machines, fertilizer spreaders, and motorized plows to make work easier and yields bigger. That's huge. There's also growing focus on tomato farming, with initiatives supporting tomato processing, storage, and market access, reducing post-harvest losses and empowering local women-led farms. You know how tomatoes are everywhere in West African meals, right? Well, Captain Traoré saw that they were importing tomato paste from abroad, so what did he do? He opened two massive tomato processing plants, one in Yako and another in Bobo Dioulasso. These aren't small projects. One of them processes 5 to 6 tons of tomatoes per hour. The country has also become the third largest onion producer in West Africa. Imagine that, from simple local farming to being a regional powerhouse. Now we also can't forget cotton, often called the white gold of Burkina Faso. Under Traoré's administration, farmers have received subsidies, improved seeds, and fairer pricing policies. The cotton sector is gradually bouncing back and regaining its status as a top export. Another bold initiative is prisoners been engaged in farming as part of rehabilitation. It not only boosts food supply but also offers inmates meaningful work and skills for reintegration, and in return might receive a shortened prison sentence. Another is water for all, boreholes that go deeper. Burkina Faso is a dry land because of its location, and especially people in rural areas struggle with access to clean water. But that's changing fast. The government has launched a $145 million water project. They're drilling boreholes that go as deep as 1,000 meters. That's deeper than most international agencies go. These boreholes are bringing fresh water to villages that used to rely on rivers and unsafe wells. It's not just about survival, it's about dignity, good health, and it's powerful. Even natural wealth of the country is being protected, which is gold. These gold mines were once managed by foreign companies but now being reclaimed and processed locally. The country established its own gold refinery, which means more value stays in the country. Now let's talk about industries, factories, and tech. For years, Burkina Faso relied heavily on imports. But now, they're producing things themselves. From drinks that are now locally made to new construction material factories, they're cutting down on import bills and building a self-reliant economy. Then there's detergent production. Yes, the country now produces its own locally made detergents, cutting down on imports and creating jobs in local chemical industries. This is how real independence begins, not just waving a flag, but making your own stuff and owning your future. Another achievement is the production of a tower cars that uses multiple means to function. Now here's something that really blew my mind. Burkina Faso is now producing its own electric cars. Yes, you heard that right. They've launched a homegrown electric vehicle brand called Atawa, designed and built entirely by Burkinabe engineers. The cars, named Native and Sahel, can go up to 330 kilometers on just a 30-minute charge. That's not only impressive, it's revolutionary. And guess what? They even include solar-powered features, which means they're super eco-friendly. The production hub is right in Ouagat 2000, and this move is creating jobs, cutting down fuel costs, and showing the world that Burkina Faso is serious about innovation and sustainability. If this doesn't inspire you to keep watching, then I don't know what will. In addition, solar power stations are popping up across the nation, lighting homes, powering schools, and energizing businesses in places that were once left in the dark. Here's another big win for Burkina Faso. Cement production has taken a massive leap. Another achievement under the leadership of President Ibrahim Traoré is the inauguration of a brand new cement factory called Sisanob SA, located in Leongo. This isn't just a regular plant, it's a powerful symbol of economic independence. With the capacity to produce 2,000 tons of cement daily, this factory will drastically reduce Burkina Faso's reliance on imported cement. What's even better? It's creating jobs, over 110 permanent roles and more than 300 indirect jobs for local workers. And here's the twist: this project was built in collaboration with China, showing how international partnerships can be done on fair terms. President Traoré made it clear, this factory reflects the country's focus on sustainable development using local materials, modern technology, and a vision for a self-reliant future. If that's not progress, I don't know what is. Oh, and before we move on, if you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe. We've got more amazing stories coming, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Now here's something you don't hear every day: Burkina Faso is reaching for the stars, literally. Under President Traoré, the country has launched its first satellite initiative, known as BurkinaSat-1. The goal? To improve telecommunications, internet access, and data collection for things like weather tracking, agriculture, and environmental monitoring. This is a huge deal for a landlocked country where rural areas have long struggled with connectivity. And it doesn't stop there. There's also a big push to strengthen broadband networks and install new internet exchange points. These upgrades are helping bring fast, stable internet to more schools, businesses, and hospitals across the country. For many Burkinabe, especially in villages, this means easier access to online education, health services, and even digital entrepreneurship. It's not just about catching up with the world, it's about becoming a competitive digital player in West Africa. That's forward-thinking leadership in action. And for the skies, Burkina Faso proudly introduced a national airline, a huge step for domestic mobility and regional integration. Burkina Faso isn't just upgrading life on land, they're also leveling up in the skies. Air Burkina, the national airline, is bouncing back. They're also planning to open more flights connecting remote areas. But here's the kicker: the military is also in on this. The military has also modernized. Under Traoré, Burkina Faso acquired military drones, improved training, and strengthened defense alliances with Mali and Niger. The country is more prepared to handle security challenges internally. They now have combat aircraft, helicopters, and including the powerful Bayraktar TB2 drones from Turkey. This means better national defense and more control over their skies. Moving on to educational project. Let's talk about something that truly shapes a nation. The government has rolled out several new education initiatives, especially focusing on children in conflict-affected and rural areas. One major effort is the construction and rehabilitation of schools that were destroyed or abandoned during the height of insecurity. They've also worked with local and international partners to reopen over 1,000 schools that were previously shut down. But it's not just about buildings, it's about access. There's now increased support for free primary education, school feeding programs to help keep children in class, and even psychosocial support for displaced students. Vocational and technical training is also getting attention, equipping the youth with practical skills in farming, mechanics, tailoring, and more. It's all about giving young Burkinabe the tools to dream bigger, break the cycle of poverty, and contribute meaningfully to rebuilding the nation. Honestly, it's inspiring to see education being used as a force for healing and empowerment. From renovating schools to building new ones in remote communities and providing learning materials and digital devices down to some classrooms now running on solar energy, all this has improved school attendance because children no longer walk long distances. And teaching quality has increased with training for educators too. Let's discuss roads, hospitals, and infrastructure. Across the country, there's serious construction going on. Roads are being fixed, especially in rural areas that were completely cut off during rainy seasons. New hospitals have been constructed and existing ones expanded and upgraded with better equipment and more medical personnel. Some already completed, others in final stages. Mobile clinics now serve hard-to-reach areas, and healthcare delivery has become more affordable and accessible. From maternity units to emergency care centers, the health system is being rebuilt to serve all citizens, especially women and children. There's also increased local production of medical supplies and efforts to train more healthcare professionals. This kind of progress isn't flashy, but it's the kind that changes lives on the ground every single day. And now, one of the most touching projects so far, the construction of 1,000 free housing units for the homeless and internally displaced. In July 2024, President Traoré officially launched this humanitarian initiative about 40 kilometers outside Ouagadougou. These aren't just temporary shelters, they're real homes with the basics families need to live with dignity. Think of mothers and children who had been sleeping in tents or makeshift camps for years finally having a secure roof over their heads. It's all part of a larger vision to rehabilitate communities that were uprooted by years of insurgency. What makes this project even more admirable is that it's being funded through smarter government spending, not extra taxes on citizens. The homes are built using local materials and labor, which also creates jobs for nearby communities. It's a win-win, restoring hope, rebuilding lives, and strengthening the social fabric of the country. Economically, GDP is growing steadily thanks to improved exports, industrial production, and food security. Traoré has banned the importation of used clothes to encourage local textile production and national pride. Now here's something bold and symbolic. In Burkina Faso's courts, judges used to wear those long black European-style robes like in French courts. But now, they've ditched that. Under Traoré, judges now wear outfits made from Faso d'Anfani, a beautiful traditional cotton fabric. Why? Because it's time to stop copying colonial styles and start embracing African identity even in the justice system. And guess what? The people love it. It feels like justice is finally coming from home. And if you know anything about Burkina Faso, you've heard the name Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary leader. Well, Traoré is honoring his legacy by building a massive memorial tower in Ouagadougou. It's designed by Francis Caret, one of the world's top architects. This memorial isn't just a tribute. It's a symbol of how Burkina Faso is finally owning its story and heroes. Traoré even slashed official salaries by 30% while increasing civil servant salaries by 70%. It's a people-first approach and public trust is growing. The government has also paid off its national debts while rejected IMF financial aid and is currently working on a new national currency, talking about money. For years, Burkina Faso has used the CFA franc, which is pegged to the euro and tightly linked to France. But now, alongside Mali and Niger, they're planning to launch a brand new currency. The goal? Economic freedom. No more asking foreign countries for permission to print money or manage inflation. They're working on a financial system that fits African priorities, not European leftovers. It hasn't launched yet, but the planning is serious. And if they succeed, it could shake up West Africa's economy big time. This documentary wouldn't be complete without talking about security. Traoré has joined hands with Mali and Niger to form a joint military force of over 5,000 troops. They're saying, we'll protect our own land, our own people. Instead of depending on outside forces, they're building regional strength to fight terrorism and keep the Sahel safe. Burkina Faso has reclaimed its independence in a powerful way. The French military and press were sent out and colonial-era symbols, posters and names were removed from public places. It's about reclaiming identity. This kind of leadership, it's bold. And honestly, it's what many African nations are beginning to admire. So, my friends, what do you think? Burkina Faso is no longer just surviving, it's transforming, and Traoré is leading the charge with boldness, vision, and purpose. Whether it's farming, water, aviation, or just as something new is growing there. And it's worth watching. If you found this journey inspiring, give this video a thumbs up, comment a word that best describes President Ibrahim Traoré, and yes, subscribe to this channel, because this is just one of many stories of world transformation that deserve to be seen, heard, and celebrated. See you in the next one.